Marelli, which has been focused on the future of mobility for some time now. Please welcome Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition, Alicia Chintals, to discuss what it's like to work with a team that stays at the cutting edge of innovation. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you very much. Again, my name is Alicia Chenhals, and I am the Senior Manager for Magneti Marelli's NAFTA region. And actually, I did what I do best, and that is I recruited someone to come on up with me. And I have invited to join me our Head of Innovation, Bill Grabowski.
Hello, glad to be here, everybody. Glad to be recruited. You were taking me away from the bar, so I'd rather be here, actually.
Very good. So, again, we're going to talk a little bit about Magneti Marelli, and then we're also going to get into what it takes to find a job within the autonomous industry. And I have Bill to join in with the conversation. So, first, we'll start off. Oops, I'm going backwards. And so a little bit about Magneti Marelli. We are an Italian-based company, actually currently a subsidiary of FCA. And this year is our 100th birthday. 2019, 100 years ago, we started off started making center consoles, and now we've got 100 years behind us. We have 43,000 employees globally and also have a presence in North America. We have 8 locations, including Auburn Hills, Pulaski, Tennessee, Sanford, North Carolina, Clarkston, Michigan, Saltillo, Mexico, Toluca, Tepoztlán, Juarez, and Saltillo. Did I say Saltillo twice? Yes, and so we have quite the presence in North America. Our business, and again, 100 years. Business lines include automotive lighting, electronics, driveline powertrain, suspension systems, exhaust, and a business line that we are quite known for, and that's the area of motorsports. So now in the world of autonomous technology, we are now making a presence for ourselves in the autonomous industry with our Smart Corner technology. And so that I'm not trying to speak to something I'm not the expert on, I'm going to defer to Bill Grabowski for that.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about our direction. We are a lighting company as well as electronics. We've got suspension, powertrain, and exhaust, but we've been really focusing on where do we take electronics and lighting. We're the largest lighting supplier in the world, supplier to all the major OEMs. We've got great technology, but we're looking at the autonomous space thinking, okay, there's going to be something beyond lighting. We better get in front of it. And so we've concepted this idea called Smart Corner in order to start congregating all the sensing you're going to be needing to achieve like high-level ADAS, level 3, 4, 5 autonomous. We do it in a real nice, convenient, modular format for the automaker because the complexity required for the sensing is ridiculous. All the wiring, communication leads, the bracketry, it's a nightmare at the OEM level. So we're going to give them a nice modular single component that they can bring into the plant. They make one connection, plug and play, and they're done. So it's very efficient. And part of that is really trying to explore and scout and find these new technologies. And that's what being here today with you guys at FACE is part of finding those people that are going to help us get there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, as Bill mentioned, our Smart Corner technology actually was recognized at CES this year. We are the 2019 award honoree for our Smart Corner technology, and he spoke to our technology. But what's interesting about that is that essentially they are the 4 corners of the vehicle that provide the high-level technology of lighting, and they are adaptable to include the different sensor technologies that an OEM would want to either have a level 3, level 4, or level 5 autonomous vehicle.
And what's been really good about it is to get to the place where we get an award, and in very a prestigious award. We're really proud to receive it. I did it with a very small group of engineers, and a couple of them were fresh out of school. They had the capability, they had the technical background from their education, but they also had the ability to work as a team, to be collaborative, and in a mode of let's just get it done. And so with a small team and with some really young people, we've been able to accomplish some great things.
Okay, very good. So some of our promotional materials here, now you see, now you're speaking our language. We're just scratching the surface. And stay awake, alert, and in control. And these refer to some of our different autonomous vehicle technologies outside of what we're doing with our Smart Corner display. So I wanted to touch, the focus of mine is to really talk about getting a job within the autonomous vehicle industry. And throughout the day, there have been speakers that have spoken about the talent shortage. They've talked about all of the different initiatives that are going on within the industry, within government, within universities, with companies, to find ways to develop and expand in the area of talent. So I wanted to focus on providing information on someone who might be interested in getting an opportunity in the autonomous vehicle world. And this actually comes right from a conversation that Bill and I had. So some desired attributes Bill spoke to were exactly that.
Yeah, so my world is the innovation space, so we're a little bit further ahead. And there's a place in the business for production serial engineering, and then there's a place where we need a little bit more creative innovation. And I guess it cuts across everything. You need people that are willing to work as a team, first and foremost, and be collaborative and be open-minded. I like engineers that have an entrepreneurial spirit as well. People that aren't afraid to break the rules a little bit. I mean, you have guardrails, you need them, but my thing is you need to have the space to grow and learn and make the mistakes. It's a little bit against the grain that we've been raised in the culture in Detroit, but we've spent a lot of time in the other areas where startups are being incubated, and we're saying it's like the right approach is to fail fast, get the ideas out there, learn from your mistakes, and then get on with it. But be an entrepreneur. Don't be afraid. In a big company, a lot of times people are intimidated. Not that Magneti Marelli is a huge company, but you'll find working at the OEM level, there are these huge organizations that it's tough for young people to find their way. And if you allow them that creative space, they'll do wonderful things. And as young engineers coming into the business, you got to be willing to break the rules a little bit. Be willing to work outside the box. Don't always take, the well-worn path. Think outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so to also speak to something we spoke about is, as a candidate, figuring out the type of company you want to work for. Do you want to work at an OEM? Do you want to work at a Tier 1 or Tier 2 automotive supplier? Or do you want to work at a startup? Probably the biggest difference has to do with maybe the scope of your responsibility, or when you get to these startup companies, you're working with the latest in technology and you're right there as in the forefront, but also there's a lot of risk involved with those types of opportunities. And then also to speak to the types of degrees. And I listed some of the obvious engineering degrees, electrical, mechanical, computer science. But right now, the jobs that the jobs of the future don't even exist. So there will be other jobs, and often you hear about there will be job loss over the years as autonomous vehicle technology develops and grows. But there will also be the addition of other jobs and opportunities even outside of the engineering field that doesn't even exist right now.
And maybe just a word on where do you want to work? You're coming out of school. You got a lot of opportunities. Each of the areas, whether it's an OEM or Tier 1 or it's a small startup, they all have their pros and cons. An OEM is a great place to work. I've worked there for a long time, and I've tried to be an entrepreneur inside the big company. But a big company affords you a lot of opportunity to try different things. There's huge companies, And if you don't like the one area, it's very easy to move around the other areas. You're also part of the full vehicle system. You're part of the brand. There's some, really good aspects to be part of that kind of a team at that level. The tier 1 and tier 2, you're really starting to get into the technical aspects. They're really, and if the OEM and the supplier are working in a good partnership, they're dependent on the supplier to bring that technology forward, to be the expert, and they allow them to be the expert, and then you go a lot deeper as a technical engineer. And then there's the startup, which is a whole different culture and a different approach. It's a lot scarier. It's a lot less foundational. There's stability, and there's a bigger risk, but could be a higher upside reward. So all of them have their place, and I wouldn't recommend one over another. I think it's up to an individual to decide where they want to go, but they're all very exciting places to be.
All right, and then as far as how to find opportunities, just being here today at the Automobility FACE Career Fair, this is a great start, but making sure that you're networking within the autonomous vehicle community. There is so much going on at all levels, at university levels, within the government. There are different symposiums that are starting up. There are conferences. Begin to network within the autonomous vehicle world so that you're connecting with the people who are driving this technology. Of course, building relationships with professors. I just had a great conversation with someone who works at a university, and he's currently working with data as a way to get an understanding of what the strengths of his students are so that they can define the right career paths for them and make sure that they're identifying the people that are right for different opportunities. And of course, being in contact with your career services office. As a person responsible for talent acquisition, I'm reaching out to universities and building those connections, and so are our managers as a way to connect with the students who have the knowledge, skills, experience, and drive to be strong people in these positions. All right, and of course, there are also internships and co-op opportunities. Supplement your knowledge to include autonomous vehicle relevant technology. And again, this is something that it's going to take all of us, it's going to take businesses, and it's going to take everyone working together to not only fill this talent gap that exists, but also to move forward to develop and evolve and grow within this area.
And just maybe a comment on, as you get into the autonomous vehicle sector, a lot of the notion from the young folks is that I need to leave Detroit, I need to go to Silicon Valley or to some other Pittsburgh hotspot of autonomous. But the reality is the center of gravity is starting to shift. We have collaborative relationships with all these other areas, but Detroit knows mobility. And this is kind of the bread and butter of how we're doing vehicles. And as we go forward, we adapt. Maybe we're a little bit slow on the uptake and we're learning from the folks in Silicon Valley, but we got the talent here, trust me. We got the university structure, we got the connections, the network, and this will become the center of gravity. So you do not have to leave Detroit, you do not have to leave Michigan, you can stay right here.
Okay, and so two others, and this is really how we're connecting these days and how we're providing information. It may change in the future because everything is constantly changing and evolving, but make sure that you have everything not only listed in your resume, especially those transferable skills, which is something we were talking about earlier in another conversation, transferable skills. If you have worked on developing an app and you have that coding experience, make sure you're listing that information not only in your CV or resume, but also within your LinkedIn profile, because with the AI technology that's now scanning CVs and LinkedIn profiles, they're pulling out those keywords, and if you don't represent that transferable knowledge that you have, you're missing out on tremendous opportunities where you might be the right person. And then, of course, grow your network. Just a little bit of information about LinkedIn, and this you may have heard already, but if you don't have an upgraded LinkedIn profile, you can only go 2 contacts deep. So the more contacts you have, the more people who have access to you and also have access to. But if you start connecting with those LinkedIn super connectors who have maybe 30, 40,000 people, you've just added 40,000 people to your network. So get connected and use and follow the way the technology is working. And then finally, do your research. Learn about the companies that you're interviewing with. Make sure that they're a place you want to work at. Understand if they're going to train and develop you. So.
And we're out of time. So
all right, we're out of time. So, just to end with our slogan, sense what's coming, we're closer than you think, couldn't be more true. It's coming, it's happening. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Magneti, Marelli, and thank you everyone for joining us today for the second annual Future Automotive Career Expo. We hope you got some benefit from today's event. We hope it was helpful to you, whether you're looking to expand your network, find a new career, or find more talent for your business. Again, this was brought to you by the State of Michigan's Department of Talent and Economic Development, along with Planet M. Thanks so much for coming, and have a safe trip home.